Happy Friday morning, Mountaineer fans. It's Chris, it's Mike, it's earsports.com, taking up 3 minutes of your morning for the first time in a long time. Today, we're talking all Big 12. Mike, you had to submit your preseason all Big 12 ballot. You have been sworn to secrecy. If you start divulging who was on there, paratroopers are going to fall from the sky, break in through that window, and take you out. So let's be careful what we say here. I want to know, who did you consider from West Virginia University for your all Big 12 ballot?
Well, there's going to be some obvious ones. You figure Wyatt Milam on offense, Aubrey Burks on defense. Trouble is, Chris, there's 16 teams in this conference, and you don't have room for a lot of them. So you have room for five offensive linemen and five defensive backs. Are those one of the best five? It's not as easy as you think. And you also have to remember, it's not the football that you saw last year covering the Big 12. You have four Pac-12 teams coming in, and each one of them has some talent on offense or defense too. So those were tough ones to put in. Will they make it? We'll see. Where they voted on? I can't tell you that. But those are two names I definitely consider in the obvious scope. Then, Chris, you get to some other stuff about, all right, who were the premier players for West Virginia's offense and defense? Garrett Green. Is he the best quarterback in the Big 12? Okay, maybe not. Will he be the best quarterback in the Big 12? Maybe. So then it gets into, are you projecting a little bit or are you saying how they start the season? That could fill in some blanks for you on the voting and why certain people end up where they do. Positions that are maybe not as deep as others, receiver. There are some good receivers. There are not Bolitnikoff candidates up and down the conference that there have been in the past. So you look at receiver for West Virginia because you've heard so many good things about it. But who among that group has the stats or will have the stats to make that group? Don't know. Tight end, kind of a forgotten position in college football, not necessarily in the Big 12. Where does Cole Taylor rank? And have you forgotten about him a little bit if you cover West Virginia because you didn't see him in the spring? Defensively, again, defensive line going to be a really tough position to crack for anybody who's good. Does West Virginia have that caliber player? But Torma Moba, for example, could have a very good year, projects to be that way based on how we did last year. Defensive tackle in the Big 12 is tough. Sean Martin hasn't had terrific stats, maybe is in for a good season. Is that enough to push him over the top? That again goes into what you've done as a rating or what you think the player is going to do as a rating for getting on there. So you can find ways to get players in, you can find ways to squeeze them out. But I guess probably the good news for West Virginia, offense, defense, maybe even special teams, punting and kicking, you have candidates that you could make a reasonable case to vote for. Will enough people do it? Only time will tell, Chris. That thing doesn't come out for another month.